Okay, hi everyone. I am going to interview Kedrick about the PhoneMe application, which is about poetry in education, right?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, so I
poetry
think
all over kinds.
to you so that your voice is clear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It's good. Okay. Yeah.
What would you like to know?
What is PhoneMe application about? You said that you use it in the schools, like
We use it in schools, but we use it all over the place. It's basically social media for spoken word place-based poetry. It kind of democratizes the world of literary production and gives people access to poetry that's relevant and meaningful to them. So it's also a way to bring younger people into this whole literary, wonderful world of poetry and give them a place that they can post their own poems. They can think about what matters to them. It resists some of the tendencies of most social media out there, which are to create ephemeral and often highly opinionated and polarizing points of view. This allows more reflective, contemplative engagement with why places are meaningful to people so that they can share that. And then it's posted on a global map. When they share it, they have both the text version of the poem and themselves recorded reading their work, so that adds this other closer relationality to the poet. And they can either upload a scenic photo or use a Google Street View of the location they're talking about. So when somebody encounters it, they get all these different modalities. They get the visual of the place, they get the hearing the poet reading, and they can read the poem themselves. It allows them to sort of inhabit a place-based consciousness through a literary aesthetic lens and really engage with other people about what makes places meaningful for them. So that's kind of its goal, and we do a lot of this with students in schools. We do a lot of workshops in writers' workshops. So we've been all over the place. We've been researching various people's use of it. Both here and in Ontario and internationally. So there's right now about 650 poems that are posted on it all over the world. And it's a fun way to allow communities to speak from their own positions and represent their own realities.
Yeah. So like it's a tool of self-expression.
Yeah,
like for students or people to just like verbalize their connection with land.
Absolutely. What a wonderful way to say it. It's a tool for self-expression, for people to verbalize and visualize their connection to places and why those places matter.
And you said that like there are 3 platforms people can.
Right. So you can download the app through the Google Store or the Mac Apple Store. So either way, you can get a mobile version of the app. We've now developed a web app, which is at PhoneMe, which is like phoneme.vercel.app/explorer, and you will find the whole web-based version of the app. So we've done this to make it more accessible and usable for teachers in classrooms.
Yeah. One question I have is, do teachers use this to assess something?
Absolutely. It has been used for class projects, both within the so it's been used in a number of different curricular areas. Obviously, it's most applicable immediately to things like social studies and English language arts, but it's also being used by various groups who are doing language learning. One of the interesting aspects is you can encounter all these poems, you can listen to people read them, so it helps you to get familiar with English, but it's also an app that hosts poems in many different languages. So it's intentionally multilingual because we want to bring people to the connection between place and the language spoken of that place and the ability to hear it, almost like traveling, like getting a poet's eye view on the world.
Yeah, that's interesting. That explore function, like that we can explore just different neighborhoods and then click, I don't know, on one of those buttons on the map and just read a poem for example, written by someone in East Vancouver, I don't know, in our own neighborhood, or probably their countries, right? Their
Yeah.
lands and
Absolutely. It's our hope that people would be able to post poems all over the world. Right now, there's even poems posted about places in the middle of the ocean. So there's lots of different ways that we can share what matters about spaces on the earth, you know.
Thank you. I really love this application because it facilitates self-expression. I think that's very important. Yeah.
It's so important. And connection to the land.
Yeah.
Hello, Andrea.
Yeah, we can also connect it to relationality in Indigenous peoples, how important that is.
So I would add, just last point, we have done a whole project with PhoneMe with the Lytton First Nation and Tlakakma speaking Indigenous people who are living in Lytton. What's important about that is that Lytton has become almost like the poster child of climate change. It has suffered repeated, every year it's suffering more and more natural disasters. Forest fires, fires that burned up the whole town, then flooding that wiped out the transportation systems in and out. And so we've gone there and shared PhoneMe with them. They've used it as a culture and language course, so that get the students writing poems about places that are historically and traditionally important to them. They work with elders to translate some of that into Nklakakmath so that they have the opportunity to then learn their language, share their language verbally, and connect not only with place, but build relationality with their elders and the broader community. So that's got a big aspect of what excites us about this, is the ability to use this kind of a tool for language reclamation, for understanding Indigenous place-based values, and more generally for education. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you want to add anything else?
I think I talked too much.
You really enjoyed it. Thank you.